Hey, what's going on everyone? Matthew from therighttrader.com back today with another daily crypto update. As per usual, I'm going over my normal schedule of Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, Omise, and Lisk. All of those in that order. A more detailed technical analysis on TradingView in just a second. First off, let me update you on what's been going on with the general market and the altcoins. So today we're actually seeing a pretty strong bounce. This is in large part due to some news that came out, which is, CME announced when it was going to start Bitcoin futures trading, and this has obviously been some long-awaited news. So they officially announced the date for that. That's going to be December 18th. And the sentiment around this is that it'll bring a lot of money into crypto, a lot of big money, especially institutional money. So that will obviously probably be good in the short term, kick prices up and everything. But you have to realize that that will kind of tamper around with prices. And I've talked about the manipulation that we could see because of this. And I'm not the only one to think that. There's someone who left a comment here that mentioned how futures are only used for manipulation. Now that might be a little bit harsh, but there's definitely some truth to that. It will kind of change the pricing landscape, if that makes sense, of Bitcoin, right? And that's something just to be aware of. Now, about the bounce. So if you've been watching, my previous daily crypto updates more recently, I've talked a lot about how I saw a pullback coming, and it now looks like we might be back in the uptrend. So that's the big question right now. So is that the case? Well, today's bounce is definitely a very good sign, and it's a very strong bounce. So that's definitely good. Now, what I wanted for you to pay attention to is this high over here, right? This is the previous all-time high at $11,395, and that's really the price that I want to see us move above and hold above before I really consider my prediction wrong, right? And that could definitely happen, no doubt about it, right? Like I said, this bounce is very strong. It's a full-bodied candlestick. So there's that. But I do want us to really make sure we go above the previous high, because that will really mean that we're definitely back in the uptrend, okay? And for Bitcoin, that's going to be this $11,395 level. For Litecoin, for example, I believe it's somewhere around $103. So that's what I'm going to be paying attention to moving forward. And just to talk a little bit about my prediction where I said that the pullback was coming. Could I have been wrong? We'll see. For now, it's looking like things are going to turn around to the upside. And one thing that I'd like to say is I obviously can't be right all the time. You have to understand this, right? There's some people who call me out for being wrong and stuff, and I've been right many times in the past, and I'm obviously going to be wrong sometimes. I can't always be right. That's completely unrealistic and impossible. So I need to make that clear. And you have to understand that technical analysis is an indication of what could happen, right? It's signals, it's stuff like that. So obviously when some news comes out, that's something that I can't predict at all. That's completely impossible. And that's the one thing that can trump technical analysis is news, right? Especially big kind of news like this. So I just wanted to point that out and make that clear. Now, to quickly talk about some of the prices, obviously Bitcoin up 10%, moving back towards $11,000. Ethereum bouncing nicely now. Litecoin as well, getting a really strong bounce today, almost back at $100. It should get to there in no time at this point. And pretty much a lot of cryptos up 5 to 20%, I would say today. So really pretty much green across the board. And yeah, we're just going to want to make sure that this will continue and that we can break above the previous highs that we put in a couple days ago. So, Podcoin is a pretty big mover today, up 32%. I'm not going to go over all of them, but like you can see, a lot of big moves here. Vertcoin doing really well today. So we'll get into the technical analysis now. And for Bitcoin, we basically bounced off the uptrend line right over here. We actually are managing to even start to move back into the previous uptrend line, which is actually really impressive. Didn't face that much resistance there. So this is a very good sign. It's going to be hard to do that though, because we are now above the Bollinger Band as well. So we'll have to see how that plays out. What I can see happening at this point is trading between this uptrend line over here being resistance and this uptrend line being support. So in this channel right here, moving upwards back to the all-time high, and then we're going to see if we can break above that. But definitely trade in this channel, I would say, for now, would be the most likely case scenario. MACD still just really taking off, got a bounce on the histogram, and we moved back above the downtrend line on the RSI, which is a really nice sign. We do have decreasing volume though. That's just going to be something to pay attention to, but definitely like the fact that we moved back above the downtrend line on the RSI. Let me just quickly move over to Bitcoin on Coinbase, because I wanted to point out formation here, and we have a little bit of a symmetrical triangle in the very short term that we're actually now starting to break to the upside of, so that's a very good sign. And if we can hold that, it should definitely mean that we're probably going to get a retest, right, and move back above this $8,300 area. So that's something that I did want to point out. Now let's go ahead and move over to Ethereum, and let's see. So pretty strong bounce for Ethereum as well. Now this is actually something that I had predicted in my previous daily crypto update after seeing this doji candlestick over here form, which usually signals a reversal after a drop, and that's exactly what we're seeing today. So very strong full-bodied candlestick bounce. Bounced also off the $430 area, and we made our way back above the uptrend line, which is very good. Now hopefully we can hold above that and trend along that, go back towards that $500 area. We also managed to break back above the downtrend line on the RSI. Hopefully we can get back above the 70 line, getting a little bit of bounce on the MACD as well. So definitely looking good here. And like I said, Ethereum has been a little bit more sturdy than Bitcoin and Litecoin, a little bit less shaky as well recently. So that's something to realize. And let's go over to Litecoin now. By the way, there's a lot of movers. And definitely let me know if there's any cryptos in particular that you want me to cover. I'll try to get around doing that. But let's see. Let's go over to Litecoin now. And amazing candlestick here for Litecoin. Very strong bounce after the relatively flat candlestick that we had yesterday. So broke through, quite a few resistance levels, back above that $98 mark, going on towards 100. Wouldn't be surprised if by the end of this video it is above $100. And yeah, I mean that's going to be a good sign, right? We'll definitely want to see it hold above that, and then the next level to pay attention to is going to be that high of $103.54, right? Once we break above that, it's pretty much confirmed that we will start really to move higher, and that we're definitely still in the uptrend. And yeah, the uptrend line did hold overall, but just we want to make sure that we break above that high again. Now, as far as the RSI goes, back above the 70 line, that's obviously a very good sign. A lot of added strength and bullishness from that. Bouncing on the histogram and on the MACD, despite the fact that it's been uptrending for a while. So Litecoin is actually looking pretty good as of right now. Let's move over to Ripple. And let's see if I can type that in correctly. Now, Ripple, let's see. So getting a pretty strong bounce today, up about 6%. Nice bounce off the middle band over here, the brown line, which is currently sitting at 23 cents. So we actually put in a higher high and higher low today, which is another good sign. And we're just really going to be looking towards getting back above that 25-cent mark, which is a very important level. From there, obviously, the next stop will be 30 cents. So we could see a breakout once we manage to hold above 25 cents. And yeah, bouncing on the indicators, we want to get above the 60 line on the RSI. Now, just want to make sure that we're able to really get back above that 25-cent mark and hold above that. If we're not able to, we'll probably just see some consolidation, but we do have this uptrend line now that should really help move the price upwards. And we do have, the previous day, which was a flat candlestick, so basically a bit of a doji candlestick slash reversal candlestick. So not looking bad at all here for Ripple either. And a lot of similar formations with that flat candlestick, in several of these cryptos it looks like. So let's go over to Neo, see if it's acting similarly. Quite similar once again. Now Neo did experience a little bit of a sell-off here in the higher levels today. We did get a pretty flat candlestick yesterday as well though. And bouncing off on the RSI, unfortunately we're still not back above the uptrend line. We did dip below the orange line on the MACD, so we are actually downtrending on that. We'll see if we can flip back over soon. Histogram looks like it's kicking back up, but we are in the negative level as of right now. And we bounce off the uptrend line and everything. We're just going to be looking towards churning through these resistance levels. There are quite a few now. Hopefully we'll hold above the middle band, which is currently sitting at 34 cents. And yeah, that's going to be the first level of support to pay attention to, and the one that will be more important here in the short term. But we want to make sure that we can get back above 37 cents and then finally 40 cents, where at that point we would be back to where we were previously. But quite a few resistance levels. Hopefully we can break through that though. And let's move onward with our analysis here. Moving over to Vertcoin. and Vertcoin getting a massive bounce today. So I think I actually mentioned how I liked how Vertcoin was setting up. So it did actually act kind of like I expected. It moved back above $6. So that's what I called, I remember that now. And move back above the 70 line. This is a very nice signal, especially with this big breakout here. Really starting to uptrend strongly on and take off really on the MACD as we did back here. Now, I like this move. We'll see, how sustainable it'll be. I think we'll definitely hold above the $6 mark now. That'll be the new support level. Can we get back above the previous high over here of just under $7 is going to be, the next move. And we also want to try to test at least this $7.21 area, and that's actually the previous all-time high, right? So once we're able to break above that, which it might not happen just yet, but once we do, that's a blue sky breakout. There's no previous resistance levels after that, and it means that we can go as high as the priors buy it up. So that could be pretty quickly onwards to $10, I would say. Now, like I said, we may see a little bit of consolidation until we can really break above that, but it is looking like a very nice move here. And finally, we're back in action, I would say, for Vertcoin. Definitely one to pay attention to. And yeah, I'm a big fan of Vertcoin, to be honest. Let's go over to Monero now, see what's been happening. And let's see. So yet another bounce here for Monero, up over 7%. Got a nice bounce off, the previous support level of $168 and the uptrend line, so that's good. Now unfortunately we do have a lot of resistance over here. Let me go ahead and throw in a black horizontal line right here at around, what is this, $195, let's say, a little bit higher than that. So we want to see the price break above and hold above that. That'll pretty much confirm the uptrend fully. And then, we'll climb back towards the all-time high, hopefully, which is $228 at this point. Looks like we're starting to break through some resistance levels and bounce back on the RSI. Histogram and MACD moving back upwards. So Monero's still looking pretty strong here and really holding nicely these uptrend lines. So that's obviously a good sign. And let's move onward, going over to Omise Go this time. I'm having trouble typing in these tickers. Let's see. So Omise Go back above our uptrend line. That's obviously what I wanted to see. We also managed to do that on the RSI, and still uptrending on the MACD. So at this point, we want to see we're getting close towards exiting a lot of the resistance for Omise Go, which is good. We will want to see a break above this $9.80 level, which was put us in this higher range over here near $10 and $11. And that should happen pretty quickly at this point. It's looking pretty good, I would say. We got basically a test of that today. So I wouldn't be surprised if in the next few days we're able to do that. And finally, last cryptocurrency of the daily crypto update is going to be Lisk. Really having trouble typing these tickers today. And let's see. Getting a nice bounce. Moving back upwards. Starting maybe to see the beginning of a flattening / bounce on the MACD. We are bouncing back on the RSI, and we're actually turning back over nicely here on the histogram as well. So looks like we did put in finally a bit of a bottom for Lisk. It was acting pretty badly here and was really struggling just a couple days ago. So this is definitely good, and we're now back above the $7.60 mark, which was a resistance level. That's not going to act as support. As far as resistance levels moving forward, we have this middle band, which is currently sitting at $7.95, and then where we put in the high today, more or less, at this uptrend line right over here. So once we're able to, kind of clear up some of this resistance and then move up to $8.60, right, it's going to be the next level to pay attention to. Hopefully, once we break above that, right, we'll really be back into our uptrend range, more or less. This is going to take some time because we have this previous uptrend line that's going to act as resistance. So that's something to be aware of. And finally, I hope you appreciated this daily crypto update. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone, and have a great day.